Warning: the following podcast, which contains strong language and mature content, is unsuitable for children or for the faint of heart. The subject matter discussed will be frightening and graphic in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
When you want to hear about the paranormal, you get the Spooked Girls. True crime that makes you hypothermal. With the three Spooked Girls, stabby snippets will give you dreams. Tara and Jessica will make you along with the Spooked Girls. Bring on the slaughter, we on that haunted ground. Spooked Girls. The three Spooked Girls.
Hey there, Spooksters, and welcome back to another episode here on Three Spooked Girls. My name is Jessica, and as always, I am joined by my favorite ghoul friend, Tara.
Hey, Spooksters.
Today, we're going to be doing another retelling of Greek mythology. Actually, we're going back to the beginning. But before we do that, if you want to hang out with us on social media, you can do so by heading over to Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all the places online that you can use at Three Spooked Girls. That's where we be. We also have a very thriving Facebook group. If you want to, we talk about this like every episode, but seriously, if you want to be part of a community of like-minded spooksters, this is where you go. We talk about the episodes that we do. We post memes. People share like their favorite parts of the month. Like we do a lot of fun things over there.
Yeah.
Like specific merch just in the Facebook group. So if you're like, I need a little bit more Spooked Girls in my life, that's where you go. And then you might find people in the, like I've seen people in the group where they've like kind of become friends.
Yeah.
Because they're commenting on the same things all the time and they just kind of like always are interacting. So definitely head over there. It's Three Spooked Girls Official on Facebook.
Ooh.
If you like to read, we have a fun thing for you. It is the Spookster Literary Society. We have a book club. If you didn't know, it's hosted on the book club app. We have two kind of like reads on there each month. One is our main read. And in January, we are going to be reading Salem's Lot. And then for our Feminine Rage one, if you want to join with that, we are going to be reading Carrie.
Yes. Stephen King's a theme if you couldn't figure that out.
Yeah. I don't remember. It came out of our like November book club.
Yeah.
We're like, no one can really remember reading Stephen King. So we're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
We eventually will be reading The Shining in that book club because I need to do it. It just needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm down. I have a really cool, I'll have to see what year it was published, but I have like an older copy of it.
Nice.
It's a paperback. And it's like, you know how they used to make, well, I mean, I know they still make some paperbacks, but when the norm was they were smaller, you know, like the littler ones,
right,
than they are now.
Right.
And it's like yellow.
They were like short and thick.
Yes.
Is it the one that Joey put in the freezer?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to grab it when we're done and see. It's in my bookcase in my living room.
So if you want to read along with us and have discussions about books, and sometimes like the discussions about the books lead into other things, especially in our Feminine Rage, we go into like other areas. But a lot of times when we start in the other main read, we start talking about other books we're reading. We also talk about just like different authors that we like and what's going on. So definitely check that out. If you want to help support the show, you can do so by heading over to patreon.com/3spookedgirls or go to the link tree and click Patreon. And for as little as $1, you get one bonus episode a month. If you liked our Thanksgiving Day episode from this year, that's actually from our vault, which is our Patreon feed. So if you've listened to like all 565-ish episodes of Three Spooked Girls that is out, and you're like, I need more, we have 5.5 years worth of Patreon backlog for you.
Yeah.
You can definitely go over there because we do also fun things. We don't just do like true crime.
We kind of do whatever we want. Like we just do random.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, obviously, most of the time falls under our niche, but that's just because that's what our interests are.
Yeah. It's true. But we've done like Mad Libs. We've done like one of my favorite
Find
things
Your
that we do over
Adventures.
there is Find Our Adventures. Tara reads them to me and I choose. And I remember one we did, we just kept getting stuck in the same place.
Oh my God.
We're like, this is so great. For little as $1, you get bonus episodes. 5 and up get videos. We do have video ones because we used to have other components on there, which was like haunted grounds and slaughters. So definitely check it out because there's a lot on it. Faux show.
Yes.
So we're going to get into the beginning because I jumped ahead when I did the last one.
That's okay.
That's just because it was like on my mind, that particular one. We're going back to the beginning of Greek mythology.
Oh, okay.
Of course, it's going to start with Uranus.
Of course. Yes.
Or Uranus.
I'm showing her the book, guys.
Oh, I think that might be.
It might be. I don't know. Let me see.
Startled me. There just a book came floating through the air for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, I asked Shannon to bring it to me when you were talking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so must be 1980 because it says about the cover art and insert photos. Oh my God, it has from the movies. It shows how much I pay attention.
Oh, love it.
This is fun. Okay.
It's exciting.
But you see it's vintage.
I like
it's
it.
Definitely vintage. It's definitely older than us.
I mean, 1980 is definitely older than both of us for fucking sure.
I love this. Okay, sorry. Okay, yes, I'm excited.
It's okay. I liked that little detour.
So, away from The Shining and on to the next. So, the beginning.
Back to Uranus.
Back to Uranus.
I know that people are going to be like, Jessica, it's pronounced Uranus. This is Jessica retells Greek mythology in a sassy way.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be Uranus for my telling pleasure.
Yes.
That's what's happening. So, he was, in fact, the ruler of the universe. Actually, that's so fucking posh of a title. He was the personification of the sky and the heavens.
Wow.
Like, ooh la la, sir, you are super important.
Yes.
He was known as like a primordial god, so he was like older than dirt. He's super fucking old, guys, like super old.
Right.
And there were 5 of them total. It was Uranus, who was the sky, Gaia, who was the earth, Chaos, who was the void, which I'm assuming is like space.
That would make sense.
Or afterlife? I don't know. Something. Aurea, which was the mountains, and Pontus, which was the sea.
Okay.
So they kind of had like, you know, the world covered. They all had their jobs. I feel like this is one of those things like when like boomers look at generations below them and they're like, back in my day, only 5 guys. It took like 5 guys to do the job. And now there's like 40 fucking people. This is what I kind of feel like this sentiment is.
Is he going to be a boomer? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, in this story, he's a boomer for sure.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm here. I'm ready for this.
Okay. Well, because, you know, people get like horny, Uranus needed a lover. And so he mated with, or like married. I just kept finding the word mated.
They were fuck buddies. Okay.
But I didn't know if that was like how, like, you know, like penguins mate for life. Like, I didn't know if it was like that. Like maybe it was like pre-wedding ceremony.
I mean, they were just fucking. It's fine. No judgment.
They were like, you're my roommate with benefits.
We listen and we don't judge.
It's so great. So he listened and we don't judged with Gaia, who's, you know, the goddess of earth. And they, oh my God, they be fucking for sure, Tara. Like this was like,
oh, shit.
They had 12 Titan kids. They had 3 Cyclops children and 3, I'm going to say this word so wrong, Hecatoncheires. They had 3 of those.
They're like 18 and counting. Oh my God.
They just as problematic as the Duggars as well.
Oh, fuck. Okay. They're the Duggars of Greek mythology. Got you.
They are the Duggars of Greek mythology, for fucking sure. So they had all these kids, but like the 2 of the Titan kids that you need to pay attention to are going to be Rhea and Cronus.
Okay.
They are essentially Zeus's parents. They also be siblings. So like, remember when we were judging like Zeus for marrying his sisters? Because I'm going to let you, when we do the Zeus episode, I'm going to let you guys in on something. Zeus doesn't just marry one of his sisters. He marries a couple of his sisters.
Well, this time I'm listening and judging. That's gross.
Right. You're like, stop fucking inbreeding, people. We had this conversation at work where we were talking about the difference between being inbred and it being incest. And it's like inbred, we've decided, is when it goes wrong. Like when you're blue, like those people in the mountains who are blue.
The hills have eyes. Yes.
Yeah. Incest is when you just marry your cousin.
Just.
This is literally, and the person I'm having this conversation with is someone find extremely intelligent and just really funny. And so we were dying of laughter. She's like, what's the difference? And I was like,
not wrong, I guess.
It's not wrong. It's like how like the British royalty are all kind of sort of related to each other and they all intermarry. That's incest.
That's literally what I thought of. Yes. Yeah.
And breeding is
the hills have eyes.
Deliverance.
Yes. Deliverance. Yes, that's a great example too.
Right? Insert banjo playing right here. So anyway, Uranus was not a great plague god. He was just very much about himself. And he was like, my kids suck, blah, blah, blah. I don't really like them. And Gaia was like, I am so fucking sick of this asshole. Literally, his name is Asshole. I'm so sick of him. I need to get the fuck rid of him. She was like, oh, Kronos, come here, my son. You know, because he's the baby and he's like, I love my mama. I just imagine this conversation being like, come here, I need to talk to you. And he's like, what, mom? She's like, I made this sickle. A sickle is one of those like, you know, think like Grim Reaper type things, if you don't know. Mm-hmm. She's like, I made this. We're going to castrate your dad.
Oh my God, I love it.
And then you're going to be king. Let's do it. And Kronos is like, okay, mom, I'll do it. So talk about getting weird. This plan involved Kronos sneaking into their like bedchamber and hiding, like just him peeping over the headboard. Like, what are you doing?
Oh no.
You know, foot of bed shit, under the bed, whatever. Just sitting there.
I'm scared.
And Gaia is like, oh, Uranus, come here. Like, that's what I envision this. And she like seduces him. And then when he gets out his peen to be like, let's do it.
Chop.
Exactly. Kronos is like, whack. And then for good measure, because here's the thing about gods, and Zeus has this happen to him. Lots of gods have this. Their penises can grow back.
Oh, so it's like a lizard when they lose their tail.
Yes. This is not like, if I chop a dude's penis off, he's not getting a new one.
No, he's probably dying depending on the situation.
Right. Depending on where I do it and where
bleeding out.
Yeah. So Kronos is like, aha, I chopped him off. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if if it's a total castration. I also don't know exactly what, like, because I think castration is like the dangles. But still, like, his wife made the blade and his youngest Titan son, I should say, chopped. Well, Tara researches, I will just make sound effects in the background. Choppy chop.
It's removal of the testicles. So yeah, they're balls. Bye-bye.
Okay. So he just cut his balls off.
Okay.
And for good measure, Kronos is like, yeet them into the ocean. Get it? That's why the ocean is salty.
Oh my God. But they grow back.
They do. It takes like a couple of years or like a year or so for them to grow back.
Okay.
It isn't something that's like real quick. In the book that I'm reading, the Scarlet St. Clair book, Zeus gets castrated.
Oh.
Yeah. By Hecate, who's like the goddess of witchcraft. She's like, take your balls, sir. But anyways, when he is castrated, his blood then like falls to the earth and it creates more mystical beings like giants, the Furies, and nymphs.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So he a life creator.
Mm-hmm.
So giants come from Uranus. It's not gonna get old, this shit.
No, it's not.
Also, I did not know this. Aphrodite, who is the goddess of love, also comes from this kind of story. When his testicles hit the ocean, it mixed with the water, and Aphrodite's came forth.
Wow.
The goddess of love came from Uranus's balls.
Came from balls.
In salty water. Maybe that's why love is a little bit salty.
Could be.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Because Kronos did this, they were like, you get to be the new king of the gods. Yay, Kronos. And I'm assuming there was a parade and people were like wearing t-shirts. I was like, Kronos. And like, you know.
They had merch.
Viva Kronos.
They have those things with their face on it.
Oh, yeah.
On the stick.
Like the fathead thingies?
Yeah.
I also like am thinking like Hercules right now. Like, you know how like Hercules had all the merch? It's like Kronos had all the merch. He had his own sandals. He had his own like discs, all this stuff. His own pottery.
Okay, yeah.
He was like, I'm cool. But you know what? If I'm going to be king of the gods, I got to get married. So it would not make sense to go look for someone outside of my family. I'm going to marry my sister. He's going to marry Rhea. Well, he and Rhea start a family. They have 6 kids in total.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they also got busy, but it's less than his parents. And they probably may have had more, but here's the problem with fragile male egos like Cronus's. He's always looking over his shoulder to see who's going to tear him down. Well, there was an oracle gave a prophecy that stated that one of Cronus's own children was going to be his demise. So he was like, fuck that shit. I'm going to eat my kids.
Oh, okay. That's one way to do it.
And we don't mean the swallowing of children in the acceptable fashion. We mean Rhea would give birth and he'd be like,
gulp the baby.
Just eat his children, gulp them down.
Interesting.
He had Demeter, Hesta, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and at this point in time, so he's eaten them all. They're all in his tum-tum.
Uh-huh.
Raya is just super fucking upset.
Well, yeah.
She's like, every time I fucking get pregnant, which I have to have sex with this dude, so I get pregnant a lot, it's not good. He then eats my fucking kids. Can you imagine being like, no, I'm not pregnant. I'm just getting fat. Like, that's what I would be.
I just like the bread.
The good bread.
Just like bread.
We live in the land of olive oil. I gotta dip the bread in it. It's good stuff. Well, she gets pregnant with her sixth and final child. Well, kind of final child. We'll talk about that in a second. But she gets pregnant with her final child with Cronus, whose name is Zeus. And she's like, what the fuck? I cannot do this. I will just die if he eats one more of my fucking kids. Just no. She comes up with this plan. She's like, I'm going to go to this place in Crete called Mount Ida. And she's like, I'm going to give birth to Zeus in a cave. So she does. And she does it quietly. She is like, I am not going to fucking scream. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do anything.
Damn.
I'm going to Katie Holmes the shit.
What a boss ass bitch. Oh my God.
I want to point out that was a very old reference and some people won't get that. Google it, people. It's funny. So then Zeus is bored and she gives him to a goat named Amaltatha. I don't speak Greek. I can't say names correctly. But gives him to this goat who also has nymphs with nurses who later become Ursa Major and Ursa Minor are the nymphs, but that's here nor there. She gives them the baby. Gaia is like, I'll also help. I'm here. But then she finds the stone. It is called the Omphalius stone. And basically, she wraps it in a blanket and is like, oh, Cronus, while you were out, I gave birth to our son, Zeus. And he was like, give me the baby. But weirdly, before he was like, give me the baby, he's like, why don't you breastfeed the baby once?
The fuck?
And she's like, it's a fucking rock, man. Like, what am I going to do? So she stuck her boob to it. And when she did, milk squirted everywhere. Mind you, they're in the sky because they're up there. And her breast milk then fell kind of towards the earth and got stuck in the space, which made the Milky Way.
Whoa. Okay. Interesting origin story to that.
Really? Like, it's called the Milky Way because it's booby milk. Like, that's what that is. Also, I just want to point out, last year in the California state legislature, there was a bill that was called human milk. And we don't know why. Like, we were children. We could not fucking contain ourselves. Every time we said it, we'd be like, human. Because it was like weird.
That is weird.
I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's the most correct version of what you're saying. But yeah, Gaia and Rhea and Araya and like the nymphs and the goat, they're all together. They're going to raise Zeus to grow up to take on his papa. The problem is he has to hide from his dad. So he could actually transform himself into a snake.
Oh, okay.
So when Cronus would be like, I just feel like something's weird happening over this little island of Crete. I'm going to go fucking check it out. Zeus would be like, I'm a snake.
I'm a Slytherin snake.
I'm a snake. I'm a snake.
I'm a Slytherin snake.
That is exactly what was happening. That's the exact look that Zeus had. Exactly.
Yes.
Just some sort of weird hat on top of his head.
Perfect.
So then the time has come. Zeus has grown up. He is now a man. He is Zeus. And Gaia comes to Zeus and is like, okay, it's time that we teach my son a lesson and teach your papa a lesson. So we're going to overthrow him. Now, some say that Zeus's first wife played a part in this. We're not going to go down that way because some people don't even count Zeus's first wife. So we're not going to go because we're going to talk about that in a different episode. Basically, Gaia and Zeus go to basically come upon him, and Gaia makes him start to throw up, and he throws his children up in reverse order. So the stone comes out first, and then Poseidon and Hades and blah, 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 blah. All the children come out of his mouth and they're full grown people.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So he did not digest them. He was just holding holding them. Okay.
No, they lived in his stomach.
Wow. I wonder how that was for
Which
them.
is interesting because in my book, most books of retellings, they don't talk about this at all.
Yeah.
But in the book I'm reading, like Hades is like, I did not like it when I was in his stomach.
Aw. I'm sure none of them did.
And I was like, who the fuck would? Because they were all like, because you imagine like, oh my God, Dad, stop eating chili. Like, it's so gross.
Right? They're just like seeing everything. Ew.
I'm just thinking back to like when I'd watch kids shows and like when they dump anything down a stomach, it was always like chili.
Pretty much.
So anyway, so they're all out and he's like, Zeus is like, hey, siblings. And they're probably like, who the fuck is this dude? Is this who the Rock was supposed to be? Like, could you imagine?
Right.
Like, so they're real mad about it. But they're also like, Zeus is like, we need to take him down. I just feel like it's like during Power Rangers when they're gesturing really large. So I feel like that's what's happening right now. Like,
yes.
we have to go get Cronus. Like, that's what's happening with their conversations. So do you remember their uncles? So like Cronus is like siblings that weren't Titans, the Hecatani chairs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say that right. But they basically like had mystical powers and could like build shit. So they built Zeus's lightning bolt.
Oh.
They built the trident that goes to Poseidon. And they built the helm of darkness that goes to Hades. And then they go to war, which is 10 years. It's a 10-year war. It is called the Titan Occupancy, and they go to war and they fucking fight, and there's all these little battles and blah, blah, blah. And basically the Titans, like Cronus' 12 siblings, I think except for like maybe Raya, and like, you know, she was like, no, thank you. I don't want to play. No, you're a dick. You're a Uranus. I don't want to play with you. Or no, that's the granddad. That's the dad. Sorry. By the way, Uranus just like heals and is like, well, I'm not the king anymore. I'm just going to be here. And he kind of like hates his son. So he's like, I might help out a little bit in other areas. But they're just like, Gaia and Uranus are just there. They're like, we're the grandparents. We stay out of the fight. Except for Gaia, who's like, I'm going to fuck up some shit because I'm sick of my son. But literally, she only didn't like Cronus because when the other Titans started getting captured, she got really pissed off and then gave birth to this thing called like, I think it's like Tiffany. And basically it was like this crazy like monster thing that was going out to destroy people. It was crazy. She got real angry. So during the 10-year war, basically they keep going until they trap Cronus in Tartarus, which is like in the underworld. So it's in Hades, like realm. But it's like if you were in Hades and then went down to the elevator to the bottom level, it's there. It's the bad place. And this is the place, we'll talk about Hades eventually, but Hades, this is where he tortures people, which is super fun, right? Like he's out there torturing people. So according to some people, the Titans were imprisoned forever and never were released. Some stories say that Zeus was like, man, I feel bad. I locked my dad in like the super jail and I'm a dick. And so he let him out. He had mercy on them. And then some say they broke out, but like, who knows? Because the really great thing about the Greeks is they kept the story straight. I say that with such lies because like every Greek author, like Homer, whoever else is writing, they just wrote whatever the fuck they wanted. They were like, this is my interpretation, which is why I feel good about doing my interpretations of them because you know what? I'm just doing what they fucking did.
I love them.
Well, Zeus becomes king of the gods and this is where we leave it today. And we will pick back up with Zeus and his many wives and his very many castrated. He gets castrated too, which I think is an ironic twist in life. And he has lots of children and they're not always from his current wife.
Of course.
He has the mistresses.
Uh-oh.
But we'll talk about that later. So I hope you enjoyed this retelling. And if you took anything from this, is that Uranus is a bad guy. He's a douche. He's a butthole. That's the better one. Uranus is a butthole.
Yeah, he's a douche.
So we will see you in our next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.